Good morning, USA. It's Steve Areno time. Rise and shine, folks. Get ready to dive into the world of one of the quirkiest characters on American Dad. That's right. We're talking about the one and only Steve Smith. Hey there, clods. It's your friendly neighborhood ghostwriter, Seth MacFarlane, here to celebrate the glorious awkwardness that is Steve Smith. You might know me as the creator of this wild ride, but today, I'm stepping into the shoes of our beloved Steve to give you an insider's look at his world. You know, the kid with the voice that cracks more than Roger's alibi stories? Yeah, that's the one. Steve's voice is like a roller coaster of emotions, and it's one of the many things that make him so endearing. This ain't no Roger-centric escapade, though. Today, we're putting the spotlight squarely on Steve. Roger might be the alien with 1,000 faces, but Steve is the human with 1,000 quirks. This is pure, unadulterated Steve. We're peeling back the layers to reveal the genius, the social disaster, and the comedic goldmine that is Steve Smith. We're diving headfirst into the psyche of a teenager who's part genius, part social disaster, and all parts hilarious. Steve's a whiz with gadgets and books, but when it comes to social interactions, well, let's just say he's still figuring it out. We're talking about a kid who struggles with the same crap we all do: annoying parents, the pressure to fit in, and the occasional existential crisis fueled by too much caffeine and a looming deadline. Steve's relationship with his parents, Stan and Francine, is a roller coaster of its own. They mean well, but sometimes their attempts to help just add to the chaos. But Steve handles it all with a unique brand of panicked brilliance. Whether he's running from a bully or trying to impress a girl, Steve's reactions are always over the top and utterly entertaining. He's got the emotional range of a teaspoon, but the comedic timing of a seasoned vaudeville performer. Steve's expressions can go from dead serious to hysterically funny in a heartbeat, making every scene he's in a must-watch. And let's not forget his posse of plush pals, the smiling critters. These aren't just any stuffed animals, they're Steve's confidants, his co-conspirators, and sometimes his only source of sanity in the swirling vortex of adolescence. These fuzzy freaks of nature are more than just toys. They're Steve's confidants, his co-conspirators, and sometimes his only source of sanity in the swirling vortex of adolescence. Whether he's plotting his next big idea or just venting about his day, the smiling critters are always there to listen. So buckle up, Buttercup, because we're about to embark on a journey through the Steve-tastic moments from American Dad. From his most embarrassing blunders to his rare moments of triumph, we're celebrating everything that makes Steve Smith the lovable, awkward genius he is. Get ready for a roller coaster of laughs, cringes, and maybe even a few heartfelt moments as we dive into the world of Steve Smith. Stay tuned because you won't want to miss a single second of this Steve Areno adventure. Remember that time Steve found a loophole in the school's academic decathlon rules? It was one of those moments that left everyone in awe and disbelief. Steve, with his ever-curious mind, had spent countless hours poring over the rule book, looking for any possible advantage he could find. The kid's got a brain the size of a grapefruit, but he uses it for stuff like figuring out how to technically stay in school even if he fails every class. He's always been the kind of student who thinks outside the box, sometimes to the point where you wonder if he even knows there is a box. Classic Steve. He's like a legal eagle trapped in the body of a hormonal teenager. His ability to navigate through the labyrinth of rules and regulations is nothing short of impressive. It's as if he's channeling the spirit of a seasoned lawyer, ready to take on any challenge that comes his way. He argued his case with the conviction of a Supreme Court justice, citing obscure clauses and precedents that probably didn't even exist. His passion and determination were palpable, and you could see the fire in his eyes as he made his case. It was a sight to behold, watching this young man stand his ground with such fervor. The sheer audacity of it all, it's like watching a chihuahua try to take down a Great Dane. You can't help but be captivated by his sheer willpower and tenacity. Steve's arguments were so intricate and well thought out that for a moment you almost believed he might actually pull it off. You know he's going to lose, but you can't help but admire the effort. It's that kind of relentless spirit that makes Steve stand out from the crowd. He's not afraid to take risks and push boundaries, even if it means facing almost certain defeat. And the look on Principal Lewis's face? priceless. The man was utterly baffled by Steve's legal gymnastics. It was as if he had never encountered a student quite like Steve before, someone who could challenge the status quo with such confidence and flair. The man was utterly baffled by Steve's legal gymnastics. He had probably seen his fair share of rebellious students, but none quite like Steve. The sheer complexity of Steve's arguments left him at a loss for words, struggling to keep up with the rapid-fire points being thrown his way. It's moments like these that make you realize Steve's not just a goofy kid, he's a force of nature. A chaotic, unpredictable force of nature, but a force nonetheless. His ability to turn the mundane into the extraordinary is a testament to his unique perspective on life. A chaotic, unpredictable force of nature, but a force nonetheless. Steve's antics may sometimes seem frivolous, but they often carry a deeper meaning. He challenges us to think differently, to question the norms, and to never settle for the ordinary. In a world that often values conformity, Steve's rebellious spirit is a breath of fresh air. Let's rewind to the dramatic masterpiece that was Steve's departure note. The kid was so distraught over probably Francine's meatloaf surprise that he decided to run away, but not before leaving a scathing yet hilariously melodramatic note for dear old Dad. He even dropped the rhino from his name, like he was shedding his old identity and embracing a life of, well, I don't know what, probably hanging out with raccoons and eating berries in the woods. The kid's got a flair for the dramatic, I'll give him that. And Stan's reaction, pure gold. The man was more concerned about the grammatical errors in Steve's note than the fact that his son had run away. Typical Stan, it's this dysfunctional family dynamic that makes American Dad so damn relatable. Chapter 3. Jonathan and Steve. A bromance for the ages. The dynamic duo, Steve and me, Jonathan Smith, two peas in a pod, except one pea is a socially awkward teenager and the other pea is, well, me. We've had some classic moments, haven't we? Remember that time we tried to figure out how to mail a human? It was a purely hypothetical discussion, of course, purely hypothetical. We were just exploring the logistical challenges for scientific purposes. Yeah, that's it, science. Anyway, our conversations are always a roller coaster of witty banter, questionable logic, and the occasional existential crisis. It's a beautiful thing, and also team up with the smiling critters too. A testament to the power of friendship, or something. Chapter 20. Code Red, Steve goes bananas. And finally we arrive at the pièce de résistance, Steve's epic meltdowns. When this kid loses it, he loses it big. We're talking full-blown furniture-throwing, gibberish-spewing, going bananas chaos. It's like watching a tiny, nerdy volcano erupt. The best part is, it always comes out of nowhere. One minute he's calmly discussing the merits of different brands of pocket protectors, and the next he's tearing down the curtains and screaming about the injustices of the universe. It's magnificent. And the reactions of everyone around him, priceless. They're usually a mixture of shock, horror, and a begrudging admiration for the sheer intensity of Steve's emotional outburst. It's a reminder that even in the midst of chaos, there's always room for a good laugh. Outro. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. Well, there you have it, folks. A whirlwind tour through the twisted, hilarious mind of Steve Smith. From his most awkward moments to his most triumphant, we've seen it all. Steve has taken us on a journey filled with laughter, tears, and everything in between. He's a complex character, this one. A man of many layers, each more intriguing than the last. His thoughtful stares and pensive moments reveal a depth that is often masked by his comedic exterior. A beautiful mess of insecurities, anxieties, and surprisingly insightful observations about the world around him. Steve's ability to articulate his thoughts, even in the midst of his own chaos, is nothing short of remarkable. He's also a reminder that it's okay to be different. In a world that often demands conformity, Steve stands out as a beacon of individuality. His unique perspective and willingness to embrace his true self are lessons we can all learn from. To embrace your quirks, your flaws, and your occasional descent into utter madness. Steve shows us that it's these very quirks that make life interesting and worth living. Because at the end of the day, it's those imperfections that make us human. Steve's interactions with his friends and his genuine moments of vulnerability remind us of the importance of connection and authenticity, or in Steve's case, humanish. His antics and humorous escapades often blur the line between human and cartoonish, but that's what makes him so endearing. So next time you're feeling down, just remember Steve. Remember his journey, his struggles, and his triumphs. His story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Remember his awkward charm, his unwavering optimism, and his ability to find humor in even the most absurd situations. Steve's infectious laughter and big smiles are a reminder that joy can be found in the simplest of moments. And if all else fails, just picture him going bananas. His wild antics and crazy behavior are sure to bring a smile to your face. No matter how tough your day has been, it's guaranteed to put a smile on your face. So as we bid farewell to Steve Smith, let's carry forward the lessons he's taught us. Embrace your true self, find humor in the absurd, and never be afraid to go a little bananas.